Hey guys, my name's N8N, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to build a AI email agent. And so first we're just going to go through a little demo so you can see kind of what the agent does, how it works, and then we're going to hop right into the actual build of it so you guys can go in and make this for yourselves. So let's get right into the demo. All right, so here we are in N8N, and you can see here, this is the entire workflow. So basically, it's just an AI agent that has access to a bunch of Gmail tools as well as a contacts database for finding contacts and their emails. And then right now I just have it connected to a chat trigger node so that we can tell it to do stuff. So just as an example, we'll say, hey, send an email to N8N asking how his day was. So now it's gonna figure out what it needs to do. Now it's checking who to send the email to and getting their email. Now it's writing the email, and now it has successfully sent the message. You can say here, it says done, I sent that email to N8N. Now if we click into my Gmail here, refresh it, and we'll see a message. Dear N8N, I hope you're doing well. How is your day today? Looking forward to hearing from you. Best regards, N8N. So now if we want to reply to that, we can say reply to N8N's email letting him know that my day was good. So now it'll go through a similar process, but this time, instead of checking the contacts database, it's going to grab all the emails to figure out which email it needs to respond to, and then it's going to send that reply. Now, if we come back into the Gmail account, refresh it, we'll see it sent a reply to this email. Hi N8N, thanks for checking in. My day was good. I got a lot done and felt productive. Hope yours went well too. Best regards, N8N. So it's a little weird in this example because it's me sending an email to myself, but you get the point. All right, so let's get right into the build so you guys can figure out how to do this for yourselves. So to start off, we're just gonna come into our N8N account here, and we're gonna click Create Workflow. So now that we're in the canvas here, we can just name this something like, I'm going to name it Email Agent YouTube Demo. And then for the first node, we're going to hit the plus button here, and then we're just going to select on chat message. And now for the second node, we're going to add an AI agent node. And it should already be all set up. For the user message, you want it connected to chat trigger node and just a little bit of JSON.chat input here. So you shouldn't have to change anything with that. And next thing we need to do is we need to give the AI agent an actual brain, which is going to be the AI model, the LLM that we connect it to. So for all my AI agents, I pretty much connect all of them with this open router node. So if you search open router in the nodes, you'll just click this open router chat model. And what this does is it basically allows you to select any LLM or AI model from just about every AI company out there. And it just lets you kind of see your activity all in one place. Rather than having to connect different APIs with different accounts. So we're just going to select, for now, GPT-5 Mini. And then I'll show you guys real quick how to actually connect your OpenRouter account. So you're going to want to come to openrouter.ai and then just go through the account creation process. It's super easy. If you can't figure it out, there's tons of tutorials all over on YouTube. just search it if you're having a hard time. But once you create an account, you're going to want to come up to this top right here and go to credits, and you will have to buy a certain amount of credits so that you can actually use the AI agent, because giving it access to an AI model does cost a little bit of money, but it's not very much. As you can see here, I put in $20 about 3 months ago, and so far I haven't even used $4, and I use these workflows pretty often, so they're usually pretty cheap. But basically you just need to hit add credits here, put in a credit card, and then buy $5, $10, $20 worth of credits, whatever you want to do. And then once you have that, you're going to come into keys and hit create API key. You can name it, and then if you want to, you can set a credit limit so it doesn't use a whole bunch of credits if you're worried about that. And then you'll hit create, and as soon as you create it, you'll want to copy that API key, and you'll see it here, but you'll never be able to actually get the full key again from here. So right after you create that API key, just make sure to copy it, put it somewhere safe so you have access to it. And now we're going to want to come back into N8N here, and for the credential to connect with in the OpenRouter chat model node, you're going to click on that and hit create new credential, and where it says API key here, you're just going to want to paste that API key that you just created in OpenRouter. Just paste that there, click save, and it should connect you to your OpenRouter account. And then you can choose any model that you want, but for this, I'm just going to use GPT-5 Mini because it's pretty smart and cheap. And then we'll just rename this GPT-5 Mini. So now that the AI agent has a brain, we can test it by saying hi. So now you'll see the response here. Hi, how can I help you today? Now, there's one more thing we need to do before we start adding tools into the AI agent. So we're going to click back into the AI agent node, come over into settings, and then down here on the on error, we're going to change it from stop workflow to continue using error output. We'll select that and then click out of here. And now you'll see you'll have a success branch and an error branch. This just adds a layer of error handling. So for success, we're going to come in here and we're going to search a set node. We're going to add that, and we're going to drag this output here from the AI agent into this here. And that's all we need to do. Click out of there, change this to success. And for the error, we're basically going to do the same thing. We'll add a set node, but instead of dragging in anything from over here, we're just going to click add field and turn this to an expression. And for this, we're going to say response string. For the value, we're just going to put sorry, the workflow failed. Please try again. And we'll rename this to try again. Now we'll just save everything so we have it here. Okay, and now we don't really have to worry about memory for this. So we'll just get straight into the tools. We're going to add 7 Gmail nodes and a Google Sheets node. So we'll just start with all the Gmail nodes. If you don't know how to connect your Gmail account, it's super easy. When you open up the Gmail tool node, you're just going to go to the credential to connect with section, click into this, and then hit create new credential. And then you'll just hit this sign in with Google, and it'll take you through the regular Google sign in process. And then you'll just hit save and exit out. All right, so I'm just going to be using this N8N demo account credential. But the first tool that we're going to be doing here is going to be send email. And for the resource, it's going to be message. For the operation, it's going to be send. And we're going to let the model define who it's going to, the subject, and the message. And we're going to keep the email type as HTML. And letting the model define the input automatically just makes it so that every time the model will dynamically decide who it needs to send the email to, what the subject needs to be, and what the message needs to be. So we'll click out of that. Now we're going to add another Gmail node, and this one is going to be a email reply. So we're going to change the operation from send to reply. For the message ID, we'll let the model define it as well as the message. And click out of there. The next node is going to allow the agent to create drafts. So we're going to name this create draft. And then for the resource, we're going to come down and change this from message to draft. And for the operation, it'll be create. And we'll let the model define the subject as well as the message and change the email type to HTML. Drag that down. The next one, it's going to allow the agent to actually get messages from your Gmail so that it can find messages if it needs to, like send a reply or label an email. So we're gonna name this get emails and keep it as message, but for the operation, we're gonna change it to get many, and that's all you need to do for that. The next node we're going to do is going to allow the agent to label emails. So we'll name this label emails. And for the resource, we're going to keep it as message, but for the operation, we're going to change this to add label. We'll let the model define the message ID as well as the label names or IDs. Now the next node is just going to be a get labels, and this will allow the agent to actually find which labels are available. For this, we're going to change it to label and then get many, and that's all for that. Now the next node is going to be message mark as read, so I can say mark as read, or we'll name it mark read, and then let the model define it. This next node will be mark unread, so it'll just allow the agent to mark emails as unread. So we're going to change the operation to mark as unread and let the model define the message ID. Okay, so that's all the Gmail tool nodes that we'll be adding. Now we just need to add a contacts database. So here in this Google Sheets, you can see I just had ChatGPT make up a bunch of random fake contacts, except for mine at the top here. So your agent needs to have some sort of like contact database so it knows who it can send emails to, and so that I can figure out like what their actual contact information is. So to hook that up, we're just going to hit the little plus button under the AI agent under tools and search for a Google Sheet tool. And you should be able to use your same credential that you connected your Gmail account with, so you won't have to worry about that. For the resource, sheet within document, operation get rows, and for the document, just choose the document. For me, it's called contacts database, and for the sheet, for me, it's just sheet 1, and we'll rename this node contacts database. All right, and now we're done. The last thing that we need to do is come into the AI agent, and we need to add an actual system message to let it know exactly what its role is and what it needs to do and how to do it. So we're going to click into expression, and instead of just saying you are a helpful assistant, we're going to open this up and add a more detailed prompt, which I've already created, and I'm just going to paste into here. And so overview, you are an email management assistant. All emails must be formatted professionally in HTML and signed off as N8N. And then we just give it the tools that it has available, and we actually need to add one tool because it is not in the prompt. And final notes, we just want to give it the current date and time so that it knows the date and time. You'll see over here. We're actually going to add one more here because it's not in here. It's going to be for the mark read tool, so we'll say use mark read to mark an email as read, and then we'll copy this. You must use get emails first, so you have the message ID of the email to flag. All right, and that does it for the prompt of the agent. Now we can test this and just make sure it works. So we'll say, hi, send an email to N8N asking how his day was. All right, so it successfully sent the email. Email sent to N8N, N8N@gmail.com, asking how his day was. So we'll click into the email just to make sure we got it. And here it is. Hello, N8N. I hope you're doing well. How was your day today? Looking forward to hearing from you. And then down at the bottom here, you'll see that it says this email was sent automatically with N8N. If you want to get rid of that, it's super easy. You just have to change two nodes. So for the send email node, you're going to want to click into it and come down to add option and hit append N8N attribution. And you're just going to want to turn that off. And then you're also going to want to do that for email reply. Turn it off. And now when we send an email, we'll say send an email to N8N asking if he likes jam. So now if we go into the email, refresh, you'll see this email was sent with N8N is no longer down there. So thanks for watching, guys. If you found this helpful, I'd super appreciate it if you guys drop a like and a subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure to comment them down below. And also, if you guys want to just download this template, the resources are in my free Skool community. So if you click in the link down below in the description and join my free Skool community, you can search the name of this YouTube video and you'll be able to find the actual JSON that you can then download and then paste into the canvas here. And how you do that, I'll just show you real quick. When you open up a new canvas in N8N, you'll just come up to these three dots here and say import from file, and then you'll just open the file that you downloaded from the Skool community. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.